The Quebec Conservative Party putting its cards on the table, targeting English-speaking Quebecers with one razor-sharp message. No referendum, no corruption. That's the slogan in an ad campaign they've begun to run in print and on social media this week. Let's head now to the leader of the Quebec Conservative Party. It's Eric Duhaime, and he's on the line. Hi, Mr. Duhaime. Hi, Eric. Welcome back to the show.
Always a pleasure.
So, that's a pretty bold statement there. Tell me why you think it'll resonate.
Well, I think that a lot of non-francophones right now are looking at Quebec politics. They've been loyal to the Liberals forever. If we look at some constituencies in Montreal, it's over a century ago. But now, with all the scandals that are hitting the Liberal Party, many of those people are wondering what to do. The Parti Québécois and Quebec Solidaire, they're separatist party. They're not an option. The CAQ, everybody's disappointed of the CAQ, no matter which language we speak at home or at work. And there's the Conservatives, and I think that they need to look and to have a fresh look at the Conservatives and what we're doing and what we're offering. We're doing very well. Even this morning there's a poll. It's not very good for us nationally, but like in Quebec City, we're still strong second. Even in many regions of Quebec, we're strong second. And it's time for us to, we're the real alternative to the Parti Québécois in those constituencies. And the English community in Montreal needs to hear that message. They're not hostage of the Liberals. You can't hold your nose again. I mean, what's going on right now with the Liberals is unacceptable. They don't deserve your support. And that's why we think you should consider the Conservatives.
So, and speaking of polls, right, I've seen some recent polling that it breaks down Francophone voters and non-Francophones.
Yeah.
And you're second with non-Francophones.
Yeah.
And when you hear, you're second, my goodness, that's incredible. And then you look at the numbers, it's still like 60% Liberal, 14% for your party. It's a 46-point gap. Yeah. Do you ever feel at times, it doesn't matter what you say, what you do. There's just an entrenched affinity for the Liberal Party amongst Anglophones and Allophones, and it's going to be impossible to change.
Well, I think that if there's one chance of changing it, it's now. I mean, with what's going on, there's nobody who could be proud of being a Liberal today in Quebec. And now there's 4 investigations going on with all sorts of allegations, with all sorts of inside fighting. It can't keep going that way. There's going to be 4 reports coming out in the next few weeks or months. And it's not just the current leader. It's not just Pablo Rodriguez. It's a culture internally of the party. And it's a mess that nobody has cleaned up that has been going on for years. And they don't deserve your support. And one of the reasons, I think, why the Liberals are so bad is because they took you for granted for way too long. And many of those people are not there because of their ideology. They're there for personal interests. And that's what happens with a party that we don't even know what it stands for. Other than saying that they're against a referendum or they would vote no if there was one, what's a Liberal? There's some people inside that party that think like me, that we need a smaller government, that we need to add the contribution of the private sector to healthcare, that we need to exploit our natural resources, and they want to stop indebting Quebec and putting more money back in pockets of taxpayers. And on the other hand, you have people who are much closer to Quebec Solidaire. I mean, there's all sorts of people from the left to the right. The only thing that links them together is that they want to do politics, and they know that if they're in the west end of Montreal, they need to do it under the Liberal umbrella if they want to get elected.
I have to ask you this, though, because if you look at the poll out from Leger this morning in Journal de Montréal, right? So the Liberals, they are in chaos. Everyone knows that the last 2 weeks have been just a train wreck for the Liberals, right? And they dropped significantly in the polls. They're down by 6 points, it is, right? But you didn't pick up anything. It was the Parti Québécois, and so this is probably a tough question for you. But why can't you gain anything from you're the other Federalist option, and you're not gaining here? What do you think is wrong with you or your party?
It's a very, very good question that we're asking ourselves right now. How could you go from the Liberals and to the Parti Québécois? That 6% of Quebecers did that over the last month. And so how could they go from a supposedly Federalist party to a supposedly separatist party who wants a referendum ASAP? It's very, very difficult to understand. And we saw the same switch, if you remember, at the federal level. The Bloc Québécois, when they lost momentum, it didn't go to the Conservatives last federal election. It went to the Liberals, the federal Liberals. So how could you be, how come the separatist the bloc and PQ vote is a swing vote between the Liberals and the Separatists? It's very, very tough to follow and to understand in terms of logic. I mean, they're supposed to be opposite.
Here's the tough question, Eric, but I have to ask it. Is it you? You look at the favorability, unfavorabilities, right, of the various leaders, and you've got a lot of red. Like there's a lot of Quebecers that just don't like you. Why?
That's another very good question. I mean, it's not because I've been managing Quebec poorly for the last 7 years like Mr. Legault. We're asking for our first chance. So it's not like we done something wrong. Of course, the word conservative has a baggage historically for all sorts of reasons. We understand that. The press in Quebec is more leaning on the right, and the left. Sorry, we have to understand that as well. It's never easy for us, but at the same time, we need to explain. There's not 50 ways of doing it. The party went from 0 to 13% under my leadership. So I still think that I'm the right person to be there because the party was at 1% when I took over. So we're in a much better position in every way, form, or shape right now than we were 2, 3, 4 years ago. And we have to keep gaining momentum. And that's why we're doing that ad campaign. We need to increase our votes, particularly among non-Francophones. The Liberals right now are in a free fall. And those people need a place to go, and I want to make sure that they understand that our arms and our doors are open, and that's what I'm spreading as message this week, and I think it's very important that we have that opportunity. The Liberals right now are just going, the Francophone vote is gone, and it's going to be just in the west end of Montreal, and I don't think democratically it's healthy to have a party that is never challenged, that has safe seats, no matter how bad they are. Democracy is sick in those constituencies, and I think that no matter what you think, it's always good politically that when you have challengers, and that's what they deserve in all the non-Francophone constituencies of Quebec.
Or with Eric Duhaime, who's the leader of the Quebec Conservative Party. They've launched an ad campaign this week targeting anglos. It's the slogan is "No referendum, no corruption." So, Mr. Duhaime, Eric, one of the things is that I think your party's perceived as a one-man show. Like, if you were to tell me, name someone else in the Conservative Party other than Eric Duhaime, I wouldn't know how to answer. And so I guess for our listeners, for Montreal and South Shore and Laval, we got so many listeners in our listening area. Like, will you have it? Like, 2026 is here; it's right around the corner. We got an election right around the corner. Will there be a team of people that people know, community leaders, anglos that people know to join you in your cause? Or will it be just you and a cast of characters I've never heard of?
As you know, in the last election, the constituency that we did the best in the Montreal region was Darcy-McGee. It's the least Francophone constituency of all Quebec. Of 125, it's the most English or non-Francophone constituency of them all. Our candidate there did 23%. It's Bonnie Feigenbaum.
Oh my God! And she comes on the show, and I forgot. Like that's
no, but you see, Bonnie, we wrote up an op-ed piece for her for the Suburban and the Gazette. They didn't publish it yet. We're trying to put her up in front, but it's very difficult because when you don't have elected officials, it's more. You see, even you forgot about it. And she comes on your show once in a while. So it shows how difficult it is because everything is focused on the leader, especially when you don't have elected people. But to answer more precisely to your question, yes, we're going to start at our convention that is in January in Quebec City. We're going to already nominate because we want to have more show our team and make sure they get more well-known. We're going to nominate something like 20 candidates already. We're going to be the first party to start announcing our candidates for the upcoming election. So yes, it's something that we need to do. And
one last thing for our audience in particular. Remember the last election, 2022, you made a big stink of being against Bill 96.
Yes.
Right? You did you had that press conference, the big sign, no to Bill 96. For the upcoming election, will you present like a coherent language policy that both appeals to Francophones and Anglophones? Like, hey, we'll do something different. We're like, are you still going to campaign on no to 96 or changing Bill 101? Like, is there something else you'll be offering Anglophones and, other people that think we should have maybe a different idea on how we deal with language in the province? Will there be something there?
Absolutely. We didn't change our minds that we're still opposed to Bill 96. And actually, we're more opposed than we were 3 years ago because now we see the consequences. We see that it doesn't change anything in favor of French in Quebec, and it does everything to bug and to piss off non-francophones. And that was the purpose of the bill, and that's what we've been denouncing from day one. And the other main message that we have is let's stop fighting on language issue. We have real fights to lead right now. We have a trade war with our economic partner at the south. We have a threat of a referendum by a party that is leading right now in Quebec that wants even more barriers, but not just with the states, but with the other provinces. It's not time to go that way. It's time to unite our forces and make sure that we all push together. And Quebecers, have never been as close to each other as linguistic communities, but politically it's the opposite, and that needs to stop. And we're going to have that message of unity, and hopefully people are going to hear it on both sides. And the Liberals on that thing, I have to say, they've been exacerbating tensions. If you recall, on Bill 96, they flip-flopped a few times, and they have an interest of having a referendum because they think they can save Canada. They're the only ones. Even Pablo Rodriguez said last week, even if there's corruption, well, Quebec needs the Liberals. I'm sorry, but Quebecers don't need the Liberals. The Liberals need Quebecers, but we don't need them. I mean, we can have a party that is not in favor of a referendum and is not the Liberal Party, and it's the Conservative Party. We don't need the Liberals.
Well, Mr. Duhaime, listen, you're still feisty here. We'll talk again real soon. Thanks for coming on.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Eric Duhaime is leader of the Conservative Party of Quebec.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian-owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years.
And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.